We just go to a flashback. New Year's Eve 2016, Harden drops a 50-point triple-double. That's right, the first one in NBA history on the Knicks. I know it's New Year's Eve, but will it be Groundhog Day on New Year's Eve? Let's see. And Zeke, when he comes out with the step-back three, you know you're in trouble when he's hitting it like this from the get-go.
And you know what? It seems like he's been shooting the step-back three from game one. So every opponent that he meets feels like they're in trouble, and he's giving it to him.
Nice.
And the most impressive move that I've seen that he's developed right now is the between the legs move, because that gives him the ability to stay down in the triple threat position and also step back and shoot his three on time, on target, and he's knocking it down. Most players now in the NBA, they use the crossover, but James Harden is using the between the legs behind the back. He's totally gone old school, classic with his moves, and he's dropping it.
Well, how about that? 28 points in the first half. That's right, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Is today going to be a good day? Another good day with the triple-double from Harden as he finds house. And I think the addition of Austin Rivers came back is really going to help this team.
Yeah, you know, right now their spacing is so much better. Earlier in the year, they seem to play on top of each other a little bit more. Their spacing looks better. Their cutters are cutting, but they're not getting in James's way. And right now the Rockets are rolling, and Harden's on a heater. He wore that fireman's jacket to the game. He knew something. He said, I'm on fire.
Yeah, get out of Harden's way. His 8th straight game of 35 points, 5 assists. That's an NBA record.
Wow.
Look, 43 points, 10 assists. 10 rebounds, 13 assists tonight. Yeah, you see the man on there. But check this out. He had 27 free throws. That tied a franchise record with Sleepy Ford. You remember that game he had against Golden State in '91? I mean, it's just an awesome game. That's right. That's for you, Harden. Matter of fact, I'll drink a little champagne for your triple-double. That's well on Players Only.
Blow the whistle.
and guys, we talk so much about teams getting to the free throw line, shooting threes, and getting to the hole. And we know that all these analytics for teams, and they're shooting terrible threes, maybe not valuing possessions. But when you got a guy like Harden, Zeke, that can get to the line, get you free throws, can shoot threes, lay it up, and then be a decoy and throw it up. It seemed like he checks all the boxes and what you want to be as a great offensive player.
He checks all the boxes. And, Chris, what's so amazing about everything that you just said is truly his stamina. I mean, when you talk about his stamina, you know, doing all that consistently, night in, night out, being the guy, having to take it to the basket, having to step back and shoot the three, having to drink that champagne.
I'm really celebrating for him tonight.
No, I mean, really, he does it all. But the most impressive thing really is his stamina, you know?
And you know what? Much better player when he's driving, starts off the game, putting the ball on the floor and attacking the rim. I think sometimes James get a little three happy. Yeah. I tell you, when he's driving, he's getting assists and he's getting to the line.
Yeah, definitely. Another guy that's going is a guy we're going to check out a little later. That's OKC. But first, they're getting lit. We always lit. It's alliteration. You ain't heard Kendrick Lamar, no regrets, just choices. It sounds like you living that life.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets, just choices. Got to have some regrets. Speaking of regrets, we got We'll be right back. What's up, Steve? We got Welcome back to Players Only. Steve Smith. What's up, GA, and our girl Candace? Candace, way to put that chicken ring on Steve. I heard Steve get mad at the fan. He said, hey, you can come on into the studio.
Smitty was taking that personally. He was like challenging fans.
Absolutely.
If you know Smitty, he don't play around with basketball. Watch what you say to the man. And he said he entering 2019, telling you guys about yourself. Welcome to Players Only. Man, that was a good game. The Boston Celtics, they lose in San Antonio, 120-111. We saw a few of the struggles offensively, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, by the Celtics. Seemed like they were out of sorts, not getting to the line, not scoring inside the paint. And then on the other side, I mean, Kevin, and I think you said it. You said it, and it sounds so simple, but in this day and age, it's not. You said, you know what, Chris? The really good three-point shooters from San Antonio shoot threes. And those that don't, they shoot twos.
Yeah. I just said it wasn't that tricky. I said, you know, you look at them, and Bertans takes 8 threes. Patty Mills takes 6 threes. Forbes takes 7 threes. But those guys are the three-point shooters. And a lot of the guys didn't take any.
Yeah.
And it sounds simple, but if you're not a three-point shooter in San Antonio, you get it, you drive.
Yeah.
And then you drive and you throw it back out to one of the shooters, or you get in the paint and try to make a drop-off pass. You know, Aldridge was struggling early in this game. And what happened? Some drop-off passes, some easy stuff around the basket. When you're a big guy and you get some of that manna from heaven, you just lay that stuff in, you start feeling good about yourself. He drops 32 on him. Their offense is clicking with a good blend of the three-point shooters, you know, shooting and making threes. They're shooting at an unbelievable percentage in the last 12, 13 games. But they're two-point guys, driving, attacking, and just playing old-school basketball. Pops is not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like nothing I hate worse than when a coach, you're not a good three-point shooter, and I just say, keep shooting them, Zeke. You know what?
They'll go
Shoot,
in.
shoot till when you're 1 for 30. You guys say, hey, do something else. They don't even get into do something else. They just don't shoot them.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, Zeke. Boston takes 36 a game. San Antonio about 24 a game. San Antonio takes the least amount of threes per game in the NBA, but has the best percentage. They're not falling for the fool's gold. They're just staying consistent.
They're staying consistent, and it's really old school. We talk about shot selection and getting good shots. What's a good shot? A good shot is when you're open.
No matter where you are on the floor, sometimes. Right.
They don't take a lot of contested threes, okay? And what we have seen, and you know, we're guilty of it, of showing these highlights, because we show a lot of people taking contested threes, but a contested shot is normally made 22 to 25% of the time.
Yeah.
San Antonio takes good shots. They move the ball around. They take twos. They take threes. They shoot free throws. They play a complete basketball game. Boston was playing good, but you can easily go to the stat sheet and say 11 for 34 from the three-point line.
Yeah.
That's where you get beat at. You shot 32%. Now, out of those 34 field goal attempts from the three-point line, how many of those were bad shots?
Exactly.
And how many were contested shots?
Yeah.
Good teams take good shots. They move the basketball around. They share it. And the reason why they're open is because they move the basketball, and when they're open, they make their shots.
And I'll tell you, I'm getting concerned about the Celtics because they got rolled in that third quarter. And good teams don't get rolled. You might get beat, but you just don't get rolled. They came out in that third quarter, and they dropped 46 on them in the third quarter.
Over 24 in the paint in that quarter.
And a good team finds a way to stop that run. It's not 46, it's 36 for their team that's on fire. They just seem to collapse for times, and good teams do not collapse. Good teams fight you all the time. They lose games. No one gets undefeated, but they battle you throughout the game. I saw the Celtics kind of collapse for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, every time I see teams collapse, I go, oh boy. Because I was lucky enough to play on a lot of championship teams.
Yeah.
You may beat us, but we weren't collapsing.
Exactly.
We're gonna come at you and fight you every possession.
A little video from that third quarter, Kevin McHale. I mean, and you want to look at a little bright spot. Jaylen Brown, 30 points. That's his second career game with 30 or plus points in the season, but only his second in his career. But that ball movement, and that's what you were talking about, Patty Mills and guys getting great shots off penetration.
Yeah, and not only great shots off penetration, but you see the ball movement. And we talked about the player development. You know, Burton comes in, he got 17 off the bench. You got Patty Mills, you got Marco Bellinelli. They're scoring the basketball. Now, they're great shooters, but they have also been developed in the San Antonio system. You know, you got Forbes who's playing well. So I mean, the development that's happening in San Antonio and what Pop is doing from a developmental standpoint, you know, you got to continue to applaud.
Take your hat off.
And Zeke, I tell you, so you know, DeMar DeRozan, he shot more threes last year in Toronto. He doesn't shoot a three tonight, but he has 11 assists. I saw him have the ball 5 feet above the three-point line, and most times in our league, some guys jacking one from there.
Yeah.
He just went to the paint, kicked one out to the corner, went to the paint. So he didn't shoot a three tonight, but had 11 assists. You get 11 assists, as you know, by getting in the paint and fanning the ball out and finding shooters. So I look at San Antonio. To me, they never seem like they have enough talent to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
I give Pop a lot of credit because he finds a way to win with the team he has.
You know, Mac, you said this last year when you were covering the Philadelphia series with Boston. You said Philadelphia couldn't get by Boston's defenders out on the perimeter because they had such good perimeter defenders. Now we're looking at the Celtics, and we're actually wondering if they have good perimeter defenders because they're getting beat off the dribble by guys who are not as quick as them, okay, not as athletic as they are. So they should never get beat off the dribble the way they were getting beat off the dribble.
Okay, what does that tell you? They're not locked in enough because those same guys, or the same guys I saw last spring, just get up on Philly, and like Bellinelli, Ilyasova, Redick, they couldn't get a shot against.
But Kevin, let me ask you this though, Kevin. We were watching the game, and I'm not going to speak for you. This is my take. When that second unit of Boston came in, I saw a bigger difference. I saw guys getting better shots. I saw a faster pace, a little bit more defense. Does that have anything to do with it, the first and second unit, or do you have a little more trust in one unit defensively?
We were back there watching, and you said that. My only thought when you said that is why wasn't that second unit in there earlier? Because that first unit was getting clobbered.
Yeah.
And at some point you got to go, you're out, get new guys in. Because they tried to stop that third quarter blitzkrieg late. Sometimes you got to stop that early. You're right. That second unit went in, they defended, they kept people in front of them. The Celtics are funky. There's just no other way to say it. They are just not connected defensively. I don't know if they're as dedicated as they were. They're getting beat. Like you said, they're getting beat on simple plays, just simple drives, where they used to keep people out of the paint. So
are they going to have to look for a big man? I mean, you look, they're close to last and getting to the free throw line. That could do a little penetration, a little bit with inside, and it just doesn't seem like they have an inside presence. Am I making too much? And Horford, he can play. It's nothing against him personally. I just mean other guys that can score inside.
So I'll go back to old school inspiration and motivation, right? So from a coaching standpoint, we bring you the game plan, right? We bring you the practice plan. And then within this, we got to find a way to inspire you. We got to find a way to get the best out of you as a team, as an individual. Now, when I look at the Celtics, I see that they need some inspiration. They need some motivation because, again, the way they ascended to the top, they didn't ascend through the hard knocks. They got anointed, to be the best team in the East. They haven't had to, go through the wars to get there.
And at some point, you're going to have to prove it.
Now, Toronto, when I look at Toronto over there, Toronto's been through the wars, right? They didn't get anointed. But you look at Toronto and you talk about a defensive juggernaut. It's the Toronto Raptors in the East right now. That's a defensive juggernaut when we all thought the Celtics would be that.
And look, everybody said, wait till the Celtics get Hayward back and Kyrie Irving. They're going to be unstoppable. Because remember, they didn't play last year in the playoffs. So, like, those two guys came in, and against Hayward is just getting his feet underneath him with a terrible injury. But they kind of came in, like you say, anointed. Toronto came in. Kyrie got booed on the way out of San Antonio with a lot to prove. Everybody discounted Toronto. And they're out there playing with, you say, inspiration. Sometimes, being counted out, you're like, okay, I'm going to show you. But you've got to find that chip on your shoulder every single night. Like, there were a lot of nights before the game started, I was finding a reason not to like the guy who I liked on the other team. I'm like, all right. I was hoping I was hoping someone said something to me early in the game and stuff like that.
Wake me up. Let's go.
Let's go. I told you the first time he shook my hand, we known each other like since high school, and they showed that clip of he and I shaking hands. That's the first time he shook my hand in 20 years.
And he might have been trying to set you up like, I'm going to make Zeke think I'm being nice tonight. I'm going to get you son of a... Oh, man. Well, we also have another game out in Houston. Check this stat out, guys.